Now, the organisation that you're a part of, Right to Know, really believes in the right of South Africans and everybody to have access to information, but also to keep our private information private. So, is it safe to say that you understand that RICA is necessary in certain aspects, but it needs to be, I don't know, better policed or better reported?
I think that there is a foundational understanding that, sorry, that's a very complex way of saying it, but I guess there's a baseline understanding that yes, there are instances where surveillance of information is necessary and unavoidable for, really to prevent a much greater harm. But just like national security and secrecy, you can't have one or the other. It's about a balancing act. And our concerns are that the balance is completely wrong here, where there is a few concerns about privacy built into RICA. For instance, you need the judge's permission, but there just isn't enough in there to ensure that privacy is being respected. So it's as I said, I think that every law like this needs to find a balance, and RICA's balance is not correct.
Where can we find more information about the issue, and how can we put pressure on the companies that we're paying with our information to keep it private?
That's a good question. Our website is r2k.org.za, and we have information up there about RICA. As I say, this is really a debate that is long overdue, and so there isn't a good deal of good information available about how RICA is potentially being used and abused. But I think that it is very important for us to send the message to lawmakers that RICA is out of date. We need to start putting pressure on our cell phone companies to come to the party, really, because I think that the last 10 years that RICA has been in place, they've been quite quiet about this. And so write a letter to whoever runs the cell phone company you use. The CEOs of MTN, Cell C and Vodacom. It would be wonderful to have them on this couch and for them to be explaining themselves as well.
And of course, we need something coming from our lawmakers, from the people who are essentially policing this.
I think this is the big issue: is that the law hasn't really sufficiently been debated, and in Parliament, these discussions about privacy are not happening. And I think that there is a bigger crisis here, which is around the use of surveillance and the use of state security mechanisms as a way of kind of policing our democracy. In Parliament, those debates are not happening. The public's voice is not being heard very well. And so an example would be that intelligence policies are coming under review, and the public doesn't have that information before them, and the public isn't involved in those debates. So as this comes forward in Parliament in the next few months, we'll be providing a lot more information about how you can get involved, how you can find out what's happening, how you can make sure your voice is being heard as well.
Well, I suppose as our president has just consolidated clusters in the cabinet, the security cluster being one of them, this is the perfect time for Parliament to take up this issue.
Absolutely, and we should remember that our new Minister of Telecommunications, Siyabonga Cwele, is the old Minister of State Security. And so I'm sure that he himself is very, very well updated on these debates and has a personal insight into the matter as well.
Well, perhaps that's where our letters should be going.
Yes.